infield bouncers, one of them a bunt, loaded the bases for Missouri. Ultimately, it was a ground ball that got OU out of it, and that's the idea. If you get enough of those, it's going to take a long time for the opponent to score on ground balls as compared to accumulate outs.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of that OU defense, right, to come out and have those infield singles with the bunt and an error or two. I'm not sure they were actually classified as errors, maybe base hits, but very uncharacteristic of them. But then to come back with that double play to really back up their pitcher, Smith.
Rare first pitch out for Sierra Harrison as Oklahoma starts its second time down the lineup, and McEnroe Marinas pops up to the freshman Smith. Both teams have threatened in this game. Oklahoma had 2 on, nobody out of the first. 1 in scoring position, nobody out of the second. Didn't score either time. Missouri got a couple of runs, left 1 in scoring position in the first. Madison Walker solo homer, Stefania Bruscato RBI double. And then loaded the bases with nobody out, and the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. And did not score in the bottom of the second. And you wonder just how much Mizzou might rue those 3 left on base.
Well, you never want to leave runners on base in any inning, but when your 8 and 9 hitters can get on in front of that 1, 2, 3, you leave them on with no runs, you know that Larissa Anderson is not happy about that.
Two balls, 1 strike on Garcia, who walked her first time. Has just been red hot. True freshman out of Chandler, Arizona. 14-game hitting streak. At one point earlier this month, she became the first Oklahoma freshman to homer in 5 straight games since Jocelyn Allo did it in 2018. No pressure in that company.
Garcia seems to embrace that pressure.
Her mom, Kara, was a great hitter in her own right. Hit .350 with 34 career home runs at Arizona State. She's in the Sun Devils Hall of Fame. Garcia, for the second time in as many trips today, works the count full and reaches on a walk.
Number 1, the DP, Sydney Sanders.
Oklahoma calls time. Patty Gasso waves Garcia over and wants to talk to Sydney Sanders, hitting in the number 3 spot. Sanders struck out looking her first time. I think that was the first at bat we learned the outside corner was going to be a little bit wide this afternoon. It has been consistent, to be fair, but Sanders really had no way of being prepared for that.
Someone has to be that first person to experience it. She definitely was. But again, it has been fair. It's been called on both sides for both pitchers.
Off the hands and fouled off back over the screen. Patty Gasso loves the defense that Sydney Sanders provides Oklahoma at first base, although she's the DP this afternoon. Only true remaining senior on a team that's had so much roster turnover. Coach Gasso said, you know, this is the best offense she's provided for Oklahoma in her Sooners career. Need her to maintain it. Garcia over at first, 1 out. Sanders to third, Daly for 1. Smith to first, Sanders beat it. Missouri nearly answered Oklahoma's double play in the second with one of its own here in the third. But because of all the power, especially in the top half of this lineup. Pickering tried to check her swing, appeal to first, and she went around. Patty Gasso can't believe it. First base umpire Dave Reinecker said, yes, she did. And Patty Gasso, I think, is just gradually growing more frustrated with the umpiring overall this afternoon that she's gotten so far.
You could tell she was getting a little frustrated with some of those outside pitch calls on her hitters and starting to let a little bit of that frustration show to the whole crowd.
She's still learning how to handle these SEC umpires, of course. You know, that's a whole new group of umpires after being so long in the Big 12.
She's been in Oklahoma for so long, right? It's unusual for her to be the new kid on the block.
Yeah, she said not really her time to say too much. It's her time to sit in the back of the classroom and be quiet, but she said it is intense. Just turn the dial up a little bit on the Big 12. Everything about it. In fact, she singled out the umpires, not so much that they're good or bad, but just the intensity. Like in the Big 12, she felt like maybe we could have a conversation now and again before the game. Here it's really all business. That the way they take tickets is more intense. The way they check everybody's passes. It's just a different environment.
Different environment. And I think, you know, kudos to this Mizzou crowd really showing up. It's a gorgeous day, great day to play softball, and against a great opponent, but this is a big-time crowd. This just goes to show how much the game has grown. You know, back in the day, in the early 2000s, we'd be happy to have 200 people at the game. Same with OU. So, you know, Coach Gasso mentioned that the game has grown so much. Even now when they have, you know, 4,500 people in the stands at their games.
Pickering loops one into right, cut off nicely, but nonetheless, Sanders will move up to third. So Pickering with a base hit, Oklahoma's second. And the Sooners now have runners on the corners, and they're going to go to a pinch hitter in Ella Parker, I should say. We were a little surprised not to see Parker in the starting lineup after she had that 3-run homer in the 5th inning last night. But Parker is going to get the opportunity here in the number 5 spot occupied by Sydney Barker in the starting lineup. So after a couple of ultra high leverage at bats for Isabella Smith in the circle for Oklahoma in the 2nd inning against Walker and Daly, 2 of Missouri's most powerful hitters with the bases loaded. Sierra Harrison is going to be tested here with Ella Parker coming to the plate as the potential go-ahead run. Parker began the year with an 11-game hitting streak, 8 multi-hit games, 11 extra base hits over that stretch. But that homer last night was her first extra base hit in 9 games. Nonetheless, hitting .472 on the year, Ella Parker.
Lefty swing, ability to put the ball out of the park at any point.
Harrison has a couple of strikeouts today, both in the 1st inning when Oklahoma had a couple on with nobody out. 1-2 pitch. 2-2. There's been suspense in every half inning of this game. And it's full on Parker from 0-2 to 3-2. Harris, the Sooners in 3 innings. Missouri's left 4. Something's got to give. The pitcher, junior left-hander from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 2nd team All Big 12 a season ago. Taylor Ebbs, the Missouri cleanup hitter, takes a strike. Deal is 6-0 this year with a 2.24 earned run average. It's her 15th appearance, her 7th out of the Oklahoma bullpen. Ebbs had a single and came around to score her first time on that 2-out RBI double by Abriscato in the first inning. Ebbs. Just about a dream start for Missouri in front of this crowd. And there's ball one to Abriscato. The only deviation from what would have been Larissa Anderson's ideal start to this game was leaving the bases loaded last inning. Abriscato into shallow left. Dayton make that. Pickering, who's moved over to left field, makes the catch. Dayton has moved over to right. Which is kind of interesting. They didn't move anybody in or out of the game. They just switched Pickering to left and Dayton to right. Maybe right-handed pitcher versus left-handed pitcher. Maybe a velo thing.
Just how the ball comes off the bat a little bit different with that lefty pitcher.
Pitch just off the outside corner to Madison Updegrove. The SEC really has not been kind so far to Kirsten Deal. This is her 5th appearance in the league. Pitched twice against South Carolina, twice against Arkansas. Gave up 6 runs, although only 3 of them earned in 5 1/3 innings against the Gamecocks. 8 runs, 7 earned in 6 2/3 in Fayetteville last weekend. Updegrove off her hands, behind Deal. Good play by Agbayani, and 2 down. You know, we talked last night about how pitchers really should never be catching pop-ups. I thought for a moment that one would be low enough that it would really be Deal or nobody, but Agbayani was able to get there in time.
A little bit high. It looked like it was going to be a little blue blind drive over Deal's head, but carried a little bit more than I thought it would.
Sophie Smith now. She popped up in foul ground to the third baseman McEnroe Marinas in the first inning when Missouri sent 7 to the plate, scored 2 runs. Added on a third on the Taylor Ebbs homer leading off this inning. 1-1. Missouri crowd got fired up about that one. Looked okay to me. Is down by 3 after 3 in Columbia. And this lead. The unbeaten Sooners down by 3 after 3 in Columbia. Oklahoma went deep 3 times last night. Missouri twice so far today.
Well, and really where Oklahoma needs to come up big is in situational hitting, right? You want obviously hits to get runners on base, but then you really have to get that big time hit whenever they have runners in scoring position.
Elana Agbayani trying to get the Oklahoma dugout fired up. She had a double leading off the second. She has a bunt single leading off the fourth. Careful, she ran almost the entire way to first base, well inside fair territory.
Yes.
Isabella Emmerling, first pitch swinging down the left side and foul. Emmerling flied out in foul territory down the left field line to Addie Kohler back in the second. 0 for 3 with a strikeout so far in the series. Foul back, 0-2. Left side, Updegrove over, and has it for the first out. Not an easy play for the freshman shortstop, Madison Updegrove.
It's a hard play for Updegrove to go back on, and you see that's a little bit where Addie Kohler not having a lot of starts, not getting a lot of playing time out there in left field. Really, that's her ball. She's got to come in on that and call her off. It's a much easier play for that left fielder to come in on that ball rather than Updegrove being able to go back on it.
It's still March of her freshman year, and already we're talking about Updegrove as the veteran of two players.
That's a fair point, but she did a great job on that ball.
Core into right, long run, and beyond the reach of Abriscato. Abriscato, not really a natural outfielder, came into Missouri more so as a catcher and got probably more time catching last year than she did at any other defensive position, but she got pretty close to that one.
When Abriscato really in the lineup for her bat, they had to find a spot for her with Crenshaw being such a great defensive catcher. Really learned the position well. Reading that ball off the bat in right field can be a little tricky sometimes if you haven't really been an outfielder your whole life.
1 ball and 1 strike on Hannah Core, who flied out to the left fielder Kohler her first time up. Laid off bunt single for Agbayani, who has 2 of the Sooners' 3 hits. Sierra Harrison has bared down so well for Missouri with runners in scoring position. Bunt by Core, played by Harrison. Got her, 2 down. Bayani moves to second on what I suppose could go as a sacrifice, but you'd think Core was bunting for a hit there.
Looked like Core was definitely bunting for a hit. Good job by Sierra Harrison to get out of the circle.
Another Oklahoma runner in scoring position, again with 2 outs, and it falls to Abigail Dayton. With runners on base today, Oklahoma is 1 for 10. With runners in scoring position, the Sooners are 0 for 7.
It's unusual for this Oklahoma lineup to be 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Dayton, though, led off last night during the game. Now in this number 9 hitter role, has actually had a lot of opportunities in this game to come up big for Oklahoma.
Dayton on the year has not been great with runners in scoring position, just 235. Oklahoma needs some kind of momentum. Just off the corner, 2-0. Larissa Anderson, you could just hear her. Said, "Where is that?" You could hear her the second time, "Where is that? Don't tell me hi." Another close one, 3-0. Generally, Oklahoma has been the more frustrated of the 2 teams with the strike zone, but that, in particular, the 1-0 pitch, I think was a place where it's often been a strike. That looks up to me.
It's a little up. That outside corner has been getting called, so I think that's where Coach Anderson was showing her frustrations. That ball was a little up on that pitch, though.
4-pitch walk to Dayton, and it extends the inning to Nellie McEnroe-Marinas, who comes to the plate as the potential tying run and brings with her 18 extra base hits this year to lead the club, including 8 home runs. That's the 3rd walk issued by Harrison. First 2 have not burned her. The story of the day for Oklahoma. Runners on base that don't come in to score. 5 stranded in the first 3 innings. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. McEnroe-Marinas, a rocket, but right at Cahalan, and Missouri escapes another jam. Sooners. We're halfway home in Columbia. 3-0 for strike one. Eight, 9, and 1 hitters for Missouri. Kohler, Cahalan, and the top of the order, Crenshaw. Popped foul ground, third base side. McEnroe Marinas for the out. When 8-9-1 came up back in the second inning, all three of them reached. Pair of infield hits and a bunt, and loaded the bases with nobody out. That's the only inning that Missouri has not scored in the game. And you think back to it now, what a great job by Isabella Smith to get Oklahoma out of that inning with a big assist from Elana Agbayani, who turned a double play to end the frame. Because Oklahoma could be in real trouble if this were 5 or 6-0.
That was a tough inning, and Missouri really going to have to look back on that bottom of the second. Runners, bases loaded, nobody out. 2, 3, 4 coming up. That's the situation you want to be in right there. Get a strikeout by Madison Walker and then the double play. Oklahoma came up big in that inning.
One ball, 2 strikes on Claire Cahalan. Deal has settled in since the Ebbs homer. She's retired 4 straight Tigers. Cahalan had that infield single and was ultimately stranded at second base back in the second inning. Wave and a miss. Strikeout for Deal, 2 gone. Just caught the outside corner to Julia Crenshaw. 1 ball, 1 strike. She has grounded to third and singled. Deals 1-1 delivery. Way up over the head of Crenshaw to the screen. Nothing to do but smile about that one.
You see Deal say, my bad. That got away from me a little bit. That was a rise ball that started high and kept going.
Well, what did Crash Davis say in Boulder? You got to throw one at the mascot every once in a while.
That's right.
Keep those feet moving in the box.
That's right. Effectively wild.
In on the hands, Crenshaw chased what would have been ball 3. See her checking with Tatum Stolting right after, saying, well, that wasn't a strike, was it? 2-2. Crenshaw stays alive. Mentioned Deal was second team All Big 12 last year and run average just under 2. Made 3 appearances in the World Series against Duke, which got there by winning a 3-game Super Regional in this ballpark. Also appeared against Florida and Texas. Deal got the win over the Longhorns in Oklahoma's 8-4 victory to seal the national title. It's an SEC series now. They'll get together at the end of next month in Norman, and all 3 of those games will be on ESPN networks. Down and away, ball 4 to Crenshaw. She's on for the 2nd time today, 3rd time in the series.
It's a great job by Crenshaw to be patient at the plate. She fouled off a couple tough pitches there from Deal and manages to get the walk. Putting some runners on in front of Madison Walker is always what you want to see.
But a floating liner taken by Agbayani ends the inning. Missouri does not put anybody in scoring position for the first time in the game. We go to the 5th. Oklahoma needs a response.